Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
And a happy Tuesday to you all. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. We are simulcasting across the plane. Facebook, YouTube, Rockfin, D-Live, Odyssey. There's a few of them out there. But welcome. We are glad to have you this morning. Say hello. Say hello to a couple of gamer friends of mine. Walt and Zach. Gentlemen, how you doing?
What's up, dude? How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Sitting here looking at my new PS4 controller for what it's worth.
I see.
Successfully converted him.
One of us. Good boy, gobble.
So how was your weekend? Or last couple days, I should say. Because we kind of hung out on Sunday for a little bit.
We did. We got to hang out for a couple hours. Mine's been all right. I was tired as hell yesterday. So you guys getting ready to go play. Well, I didn't see it till this morning because my ass was already asleep at 8 o'clock. But
as you should be on a show night. Yeah, I did it too. I went to bed a little earlier than I planned, just tired. I woke up earlier than I planned. So, but definitely, my weekend was a little more hectic apparently than I planned too. I didn't get anything I planned doing done here because we took off to go to the festival international there in Lafayette, which wound up raining. From the minute we got there, about, I guess, 10 Sunday morning or so, it rained till, about 4:30, 5 o'clock. At what they were going to shut it down at 6. So we kind of went up there and strode around in the puddles and rain and people rolling up their tents and getting out of there. So it wasn't quite the festive event we thought it might be. The rain was not supposed to do this, of course, with their modern prestidigitation. No, wait, that's magic. Meteorological broadcasts and stuff. It really didn't work out like they lied to us and said it would. It was supposed to be all over by noon, 1 o'clock. But yeah, that didn't happen. So we got wet and got not much accomplished. So heard some music. There were still bands playing apparently in the rain. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, not nearly what we planned on doing there. And a lot of people had taken the opportunity to get on out. The people over the festival had given them all permission to, in spite of the contract, to get out of there because nobody was going to be there in the rain. So a lot of them had gone by the time we got there. But at least it means the festivals are kicking off again and happening again. This is the first one in 2 years they've had. So hopefully that'll just be the start of more. I think there's I don't think it's a crawfish festival, some festival coming up next weekend. So we may make it to that one with no rain.
Well, that's
I don't love those festivals. I haven't been to a festival in so long. I mean, it's been forever. I can't even remember the last one I did. I know my first one was a Further festival in '97.
Thought of a Further fest forever.
Yeah, that was just a couple years after Jerry died in '95. So they weren't called the Grateful Dead anymore. They were called the Rest of Us. But I didn't even know that that's what it was. My buddy went to go see the Black Crowes, and I went with him. And I was like, why are we showing up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon? He's like, oh, this is a festival, man. There's going to be... And I saw Arlo Guthrie there.
Damn.
And that made my whole everything. I saw him play the Pickle song. And I was like the only person in the lawn standing up, like screaming my head off when I heard his name. Everybody's looking at me like, who is... I mean, he was looking old. He came walking up and had somebody helping him walk up there. But yeah, I got to see Arlo Guthrie. That was so cool. I think I was the only person there my age who knew who he was. I was only 18 years old. Yeah, that was good times right there. That was fun. Don't do festivals too much anymore. I don't like all the people. It's like playing a zombie video game anymore, trying to get through those crowds. And people fighting. Man, I've seen so many bad fights at concerts. Never during the concert, never before the concert, but always right after the concert. There's some drunk assholes that are having just too much fun and decide to just start beating the shit out of random people. I've seen that twice. So after concerts, head on a swivel, folks. Just telling you. So I had an awesome day yesterday. Got some stuff done, but then I got to go hang out with Grounded Extracts, James,
Nice.
and meet his family. They are 15 minutes down the road now. We are going to be making all kinds of tinctures and potions and elixirs and whatever other cool names there are for stuff like that.
Cocktails.
His family, cocktail. His family is gorgeous. I mean, he's got 2 little boys, a beautiful wife, little baby girl. I got to hold the baby. She was grabbing my nose and my cheeks and just smiling. Oh, it was fun. I mean, we did work too, unloading the truck and all, but yeah, he's got a great family. We're going to have so much fun.
We need to get James on over here.
Yeah, for sure.
We do indeed, man. For sure.
He is a cool guy. It was funny because you guys know me. I don't dress up, right?
Right.
I don't have a pair of slacks. The only button-down shirts I have are flannel. So, that's me. And I put on my Airs yesterday. I put on a clean pair of jeans and a clean T-shirt. And yeah, and I showed up and James he was wearing, he's been working and stuff. And he was just wearing some old jeans. He looked at me like, man, I just feel all scummy. I was like, dude, don't. I was like, this is me putting on Airs. All right? This is me welcoming you to the community. You're not going to see me dress any nicer than this. About 10 minutes ago, I was wearing jeans that were 5 times dirtier than yours. So don't worry about it, man. Yeah, he's just a cool guy. I had such a great time over there. He's going to have a beautiful garden. I can already see it. The backyard. He's got his own little work shed with electricity out there. It's like the smaller sheds, not a garage. Can't get a car into it, but
like a garden shed.
Yeah, a garden shed. But you can walk. It's got electricity out there. It's got running lights. It's got a work table in the back, like a little other room. A spot for oh man, he's gonna deck that place out. Nice. I wonder if he ever got up into the attic. We kind of looked up there just a little bit, but there was a room up in the attic with a door.
Uh-oh. I've seen enough movies to know that's never a good sign.
Yeah, I didn't see any padlock things or anything like that, but yeah, just a beautiful old house built in the 50s when they were built to last.
Yeah. Bomb shelter in there somewhere. As popular as they were, I'm surprised you don't find more fallout shelters and bomb shelters and stuff when people are buying homes.
Well, were they really that popular, or was that just a media push to make people scared? Because I thought the same thing a few different times, looking around different areas and just thinking, well, I thought there was supposed to be all these bomb shelters here, and traveling across the country, taking my family to Oregon, that kind of thing. So, yeah, both, I'm sure.
Martin Haley says a tracksuit and trainers is me getting dolled up.
Love it.
Yeah, it's only been recently that I've kind of pulled away from wearing my PJ pants pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I still do that every once in a while, real early. If I'm like taking Jaren somewhere, I'll still have my PJs on, go into like a gas station or something like that. But usually I throw a pair of jeans on. But usually when I go out, it's like to Lowe's or a garden store. And I don't care what I look like. I'm throwing on the crappy jeans because I'm probably going to be working right after that. So yeah, I'm that scummy looking guy walking around with really tattered jeans and all kinds of stuff that I wiped on my shirt that day. I'm horrible about that. If I'm wearing a work shirt, that's also my rag. The neighbor lady just thought it was. She's like, "Do you wash your own clothes?" She was looking at my jeans. Just taking a big old glob of, I don't think it was cement. I think it was some kind of rubber caulk. And I had a big glob on my finger. I just wiped it on my pants. And she just looks at me. She's like, "Do you wash your own?" I was like, "Well, yeah. I just throw them in the washer and let it do the washing." But yeah, these are just work clothes. I don't care what they look like. But yeah, great neighbors. He's got a real nice set of neighbors, at least on one side. We met them. I was going to be heading back over there early today to finish unloading the truck. And I guess Karen B and Just Jack and the rest of the crew showed up last night and got them all unloaded. So that was a nice surprise when I woke up and saw that message from Karen B this morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
It does. And they're just so sweet, generous. They're, "Oh, here, we got some money for you." And then it's like, no, you guys, we're a community. If anything, we could trade. But I don't like taking money from friends for anything. Not when it's just me helping out, Like, nope, we'll trade something someday, Yeah, great people. His wife is so sweet. Just so sweet. You could see they're a beautiful family. Just a beautiful, so happy. The children are happy. I love being around good people like that. And they were getting used to the heat because they just left New York and it was snowing a few days ago. It was 91 yesterday when they got here.
Welcome to the South.
Yeah. I told them this is the first 90 day. You guys just choose to move on the wrong day because it's been like 81 and beautiful for the most part. But the heat is definitely a coming. Garden is looking amazing, man. I am so proud of all those plants out there. Crop the salvia plant. Oh, Cammy asked me not to mow this one flowers until we found out what it was. So I mowed around it. She was trying to find out what it was yesterday. And I have an app on my phone where I can just go take a picture of a plant, and it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. But we have salvia, wild salvia, growing all over the yard.
That's awesome.
It is another plant that is 100% edible. Roots, plant, flowers. And this is part of the family that has some of the hallucinogens in it. but it's also very good for you to eat. It's very healthy. We're going to have to do some more looking into when you eat it and things like that. Like, because I know it's in the hairs, all of the hallucinogenic chemical properties are in the hairs on it. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of hairs yet. But the easiest way to know, there's not too many plants out there, but the stem is a square. You can actually feel it in your hands. If you go and roll the stem between your fingers, you'll feel 4 sides. It's a weird little plant. But yeah, we have so much salvia. It's crazy. So we have like a huge wild garden in our backyard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, go. And I had no idea. Go look at your plants, folks. I mean, there's apps that are free. The one I use is called PlantNet. Capital P, capital N, all one word, PlantNet. And you just take a picture of it. And then you let it run through its little thing. And yeah, it'll give you a percentage of what it thinks it is and yada, 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 all that good stuff. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 minute.
We give a quick shout out to Fishhead, Montana, over there on Rockfin. $2 tip saying, a theory for meteors and falling stars. If Mount Meru is a magnetic mountain, it's massively powerful. Say a chunk of iron dislodged and began traveling towards the magnetic mountain at very high speeds. Molten metal loses magnetism and can escape the center because of this, explaining why burning metal falls from the sky. Side note, there's a unique natural feature in Minnesota called magnetic rock. Good to know. Fishhead, Montana. Thanks for hanging out over here on Rockfin. And thanks again for the $2 tip. Let me give another quick shout out.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
To Thunder Chicken. I wanted to give a great big virtual hug, just about as big as I could make it. Got me a nice little care package in the mail. I think it was Friday. And it's one of those things
nice.
I keep wanting to just write a thank you note. Common fucking courtesy, right? But it's like it never really, it's so inadequate with the thanks that it's like I don't even want to waste my time because it's still not going to adequately convey the gratitude that I have. It's yeah, it was a smorgasbord that I got in the mail. Just beautiful.
Did you get any cookies?
Oh, they lasted about 3 minutes after we opened the box.
Oh, they're so good, aren't they?
They were very good.
A little bit of jasmine and stuff. And he grew all that stuff out of his own yard.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the people in this community are so amazing. They really are. But yeah, he's my new cookie guy. If I ever become a trillionaire or whatever and open my own edible, yeah, I want that recipe. Because, man, those were like I barely tasted any cannabis in them. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It was, sometimes you'll bite into a cookie and it's like, oh yeah, that's a THC cookie. It's like overwhelming. This one, I don't know what all the spices he used, but it just blended together. It tasted like, oh man, melted. I got one left. I've been saving and hiding.
That's awesome because a lot of times those people that make THC treats kind of take the treat out of it and concentrate on the THC way too much. And like you said, it's like eating a bud or something. But yeah, that's good to hear. Good to hear.
There was hash in there. The hash, you could see through it. It was like glass. It was awesome. Awesome stuff. So many good things. Got some extra butter in case we wanted to make some more cookies. Oh, just so many good stuff. I wanted to say thanks again. It was just absolutely amazing, though I don't know that I have seen him in chat yet. But as soon as I do see Alexander, I'll give him a big, huge shout out. Thank you. Speaking of someone else that deserves a big, huge shout out, thank you.
Go ahead.
David M. in chat.
I was headed that way next.
I figured you might have been. You go right ahead, sir.
David M., thank you so much, brother. You sent an amazing package here with some incredible pain relieving ointment, balm, salve. I don't know exactly how you determine what to call it, but it definitely has been a miracle here. Now, the original intention was for that to be part of us giving away some things for the 420 special. Unfortunately, due to all of us enjoying our time off way too fucking much, as Josh has explained a couple of times, we didn't get things planned ahead of time accurately or correctly, and things just kind of didn't work out like we wanted. That being said, the 420 show was amazing, and thank you all who helped make it that way. But that being said, with what I have here, it definitely needs to be something we figure out a way to get out to some people. So maybe this Wednesday on our pre-show, we'll figure that out. Definitely. You sent me a huge ingredient list with some of the most amazing things in it, and I'll probably could pull it up, but it's not handy. I'll do that on the break and give the list of the incredible ingredients. But yeah, definitely. Thank you for that, my friend. And as always, big, huge shout out and incredible thanks to all of our listeners, viewers, watchers, people. You don't have to send in anything to get love and respect, and thanks for being here, because you are here in the mornings, evenings, it doesn't matter. I know for some of you it's incredibly early, incredibly late. And oh wait, David said he'd give us a call in the second half and talk some details about it. That would be great, David. That would be amazing. There you go.
Amazing.
Reaching out again. Perfect example of this amazing community.
I'm real excited to talk to David. David got to go hang out with Santos Bonacci over at the Syncretism Society.
I know. I saw the comment there in chat that it was a great show. So that's more catch up that I have to put on my list for damn sure.
I did share it over there on our Telegram group, at least in time for people to go catch part of it. That was an awesome interview. What else? Sunday, we had the Big Skinny Show did their sort of model reveal, where Matt and Jake both sort of revealed what they think is going on around here, which was, again, a really awesome show. Some big surprises, some things I wasn't really expecting.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, folks, go check that out for sure.
I'm about probably 15 minutes in, and then I got sidetracked yesterday. Somebody showed up, came by, so I'm on it for that one for damn sure. I'm excited. And then Sunday, I wasted my Sunday trying to go to the festival and missed the premiere. So, oh, I see. It's Blissful Wizard Magic Salve is the name of it. David he didn't just put it. I just saw it there in chat. So now we have the official name. But we'll definitely we'll get the lines open here after the break and get you on here, David. Man.
And a big, big shout out to a gentleman I met at Flattoberfest actually last year. Gentleman named John. I don't think he has a YouTube, but he sent me a Wimhurst generator that he had just sitting around in his attic doing nothing. He wasn't, messing with it or anything. So at Flattoberfest this year, folks, we will have a Wimhurst. I can make 400,000.
That is insane, dude.
Potential difference now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is some power. These things have Leyden jars to store the potential on both sides. I haven't even opened it yet. I was so tired when I got back last night. I had I had to water the gardens and do some stuff out there. And by the time I got done, it was like 8 o'clock. I was like, if I open this, I'm going to be up till midnight playing around. So I did real good. Now it was like having your presents on Christmas, being able to open them and just saying, well, I have stuff I got to do. So I'm proud of myself that I haven't opened this box yet and electrocuted myself.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
do want to know what a shock from it feels like, though. I mean, I've taken 250,000, and that was like a white light that I saw. I don't know. We're going to see. I don't know. I think I'm a part of my body. I could do it. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
And I'm sorry, here I'm trying to find an old email that David had sent me with the list of ingredients. So I am distracted and I will stop that.
I already put it in chat. It's good.
Oh, you got it.
I'm owning it.
Damn, thank you.
And that's first half.
I was digging away.
That's break time. Holy shit. Either way, we've managed to make it through one. We will open up something, whether it's the Skype or Flatline or just the call board here on TFR. We will do it. But stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
Learning to attack the problem. It's very important to go after the insidious. The great leader of the Christians says, "The things I once hated, I now love. The things I once loved, I now hate." It's so important to incorporate both love and hate in the same conversation. Now, let me give you the dilemma. This stuff isn't easy. It's so easy to be careless with words and get the wrong reaction. What if you meant to say, "What's troubling you?" and instead you said, "What's wrong with you?" Can you imagine the difference? Just a mistake of one small word means all the difference in the world in the kind of reaction that you get. But here's the dilemma: to attack the problem, but not the person. God's got the same dilemma. God says, "I love you, but I hate your sinful ways." Now, see, that's a challenge, to show somebody that you love them, but you hate. How do you put love and hate in the same sentence? I'm telling you, it is essential to show your contempt for the problem and your concern.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again. So I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
For millennia, mankind has been searching for answers to the big questions, such as, where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Are we alone? And just what the heck is the Sasquatch all about? I can't promise you answers, and neither can the Woo Crew, but they invite you to join them Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight in the UK, for Freaky Friday, exclusively on Truth Frequency Radio. Spirituality, multiverse, quantum mechanics, the occult, and so much conspiracy analysis that it will make your mind melt. Take my word for it. Freaky Friday. It's more than a show. It's a way of life. I am Stephen Hawking, and I am proud to be a Wookiee.
You're listening to the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
He likes the way I talk, and I like the way he talks. Mm-hmm.
Inconceivable! I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the Ironworks right now. Just hanging out. Yeah.
Second half of the first half.
Second half of the first half. As opposed to the next segment, which would be the first half of the second half. Don't you know?
Oh, wow. I was just looking through I just hit the news. This is from 20 hours ago, Live Science. I don't know if I should click into it. The universe could stop expanding remarkably soon, study suggests. Dude, do I even waste a brain cell? Oh my goodness. How would they know? They don't even know how big it is.
It could also start expanding remarkably soon.
Because we have no idea what's going on.
Right. It could do all sorts of things remarkably soon. As long as we put could in there, does it really matter?
It looks like the astronauts on the ISS fell again.
Of course.
It says, watch what happens to astronauts when the International Space Station gets an orbital reboost.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
Is that what it did? It
so they must
give them all whiplash, gravitational whiplash? Jesus Christ.
Sure, yeah, I don't even want to hit the button, but maybe we'll show this one Friday. I'll save this one. The reboot. Yeah, it's just no fun showing videos on the radio. You know, it's not fair. All those people out there just listening.
True.
But yeah. Oh, the previous burn with a duration of 12 minutes, 17 seconds, moving at 1.34 meters per second. So they made some gravity up there. And they all fell to the ground. Oh, they lose 100 meters a day in altitude.
Really?
That's what they claim. You know, I bet if someone actually took the time and went back and saw how many times they didn't get their payloads because of this or that, it's like, okay, you're falling 100 meters a day. You didn't get any fuel last time because that blew up. How are you staying up there? I'm sure they have some mathematical jargon that would, you know, make it more conceivable. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, space lettuce is not as good as it used to be.
We even got some space lettuce from chat. I'm looking at a story that I want to know more dropped for us, showing some wreckage. I will use this picture. I will put it in our show description so everybody can see this lovely, what looks like, okay, you remember the old McDonald's boxes like in the 80s that you get the styrofoam box the burgers used to come in? If you sat down on it by mistake or stepped on it, that's kind of what it looks like.
The styrofoam clamshells that they used to put them in.
Exactly. Yep. But this photo and some others were given to us from the magical flying copter that is just hovering itself around atmospherically somehow, despite old science and logic and facts. But the picture itself is pretty funny. I'm trying to get it up on a bigger, man, this thing is not a good site to get pictures from. It's one of those that keeps telling me no. It's just saying, no, you will not share this picture. So, my apologies. I cannot share it. Here, I'll show you the small one. How about that? And as I said, I'll use it in my show description today. So everybody can see the clamshell. to science in space, and something landed like that, and what was in it was somehow able to continue functioning and flitting about Mars. Logic again.
Completely believable.
Wait, there's 3 more images. Oh, here they are, big. I knew there had to be magical ways to do it. Excuse the free advertisement. Clamshell with a parachute, clamshell with a wrapper. There you go. You got the burger wrapper. You got the burger holder. Somebody had a burger.
So remember
Those
we were
images will be
talking
in the
about
show
we were talking
My
about
bad.
those
What'd you say?
people who want to catch a rocket as it was falling back down to Earth.
Wait, is this the helicopter catching it, or is this the baseball mitt?
Yeah, no, this is the helicopter catching it.
I thought we were just going to get a big pile of mattresses and wait for it to impact. That way we could catch it.
Well, over there at Acme, where they come up with these ideas.
And they're catching it 150 nautical miles off the coast of New Zealand. Yeah, they didn't catch it. They say they caught it, but the helicopter pilot did not like the way it felt and dropped it into the ocean.
So wait, catching it was the easy part?
I guess he's saying he flew just above the booster and snagged its parachute with a hook.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, it says, okay, the hook is designed to collapse the helicopter and its pilot. So you didn't catch it. I mean, that's called a drop. When like the foul ball or the fly ball touches your mitt and then hits the ground, you don't get a catch. You don't get to catch it for just a second and then let it drop to the ground and it be an out. You have to catch it. So, yeah, they I would call this, what is that, an error? Yeah, that's an error, a fielding error. So they caught it, but then they let it go.
So, well, that's different.
When you do the math on the RBI, I mean, it's kind of like NASA math. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say that, if you can maintain control and then drop, it's still a catch. If control is maintained, if you catch it and then get control of it and then drop it, that's just a drop. That's an error. That's a caught ball that you fucked up and dropped. Oh, good. David found the link. I texted him one for Skype, and we hadn't just gotten there yet. Now I need to rearrange the stuffs here. I can do it.
Am I already on in this?
Yep, you surely are, David. Okay. Good morning.
I didn't know if I was
Is this thing on?
No, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
What's up, David?
How's it going, everybody? How's it going, Zach? Walt and Josh.
Oh, what's up, man?
Wonderfully. Yeah, for me too. I gave you guys a shout out on the on Santo's show.
Oh, thanks, man.
How'd that go over?
I was gonna say he didn't.
It went over okay. I don't know. I just sometimes like you're in certain people's shows and you're like, what do I talk about and what do I bring up right now and what do I say? And I have like 9 pages of things that I really want to convey to people, but I didn't say any of those things.
None of that comes out right.
I was really like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? And then I just ended up just kind of being a little nervous about the whole situation. But we have a follow up, like part 2. Coming up in the 21st or whatever, so I'll try to redeem myself on that one a little bit better.
Well, you got compliments in chat. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, so I'll definitely check it out.
It was actually, it worked out really good, and Santos is a really nice guy, and he really relates to some of the things that I'm talking about because he's done some similar research. And when I mentioned some things to him, it just really clicked for him immediately. Like he hadn't even thought of it in that aspect. And then he was like, dude, we got to do a show like this Saturday. What are you doing? I'm like, I guess we're doing a show, you know what I mean? Like, so that was kind of a little, you know, I wasn't really prepared.
Yeah, it's
I was
during my
also
life.
prepared at the same token, you know?
So
yeah, I would love to go down there to Mexico to see that little group that they're forming down there, that little society. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going down there. I would like to drive down there because there's a lot of places that I have to visit in Mexico that I've lived in Mexico and I've visited a lot of places, but there's a lot of inland places that I haven't visited. So I really would like to drive down there.
Yeah, that'd be a great drive.
But it's like 50
wintertime
hours, but I would probably stop like every 8 hours, you know?
Yeah, I've only done a couple. Like, I think my longest is 14 hours. Went from El Paso, Texas to Dallas. And there was a fogged out. I should have made it in like 10, but there was so much fog up in the mountains of West Texas. The hills, I guess you call them. Yeah, I was supposed to be doing 50, and everybody was doing like 20. It was like white out. But yeah, 14 hours was my longest day. I don't recommend it at all.
Yeah, we did a 24-hour from Southern California to Texas before, and that was brutal. It was like three of us, like we'll just keep switching drivers. There'd be no problem. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're like everyone's asleep. I'm getting pulled over. You're like, what's going on? The guy's like, empty the car out. Like he finds this like a little ceramic pipe that we had bought in Mexico like 2 years that had like fell underneath the seat. And he's like, I got you guys for paraphernalia. And he's like, I'm going to impound your car. And we're like, what? So I'm not going more than 8 hours in the car anymore. I'm stopping, getting a hotel, you know?
Good call.
Fucking road pirates.
Absolutely. And that was like I was real young. I was probably like, at that time I was like 18 years old. So I was really just like really intimidated by the guy, you know?
Oh yeah, we all are when we're young like that.
Yeah, but nowadays it wouldn't be the same situation, you know.
After all my First Amendment audit videos and whatnot, and how I'm not saying I'm a lawyer or anything, but I probably know the laws better than most police officers.
I would agree with that. Probably for me too, like, you know, like absolutely, I know for a fact that I know more than most of them because they don't really get taught the law.
Nope.
They get taught to be scared and have a gang mentality and that everybody's out to hurt them and get them. And I understand, you know, you are dealing with a certain element of people some part of the time, but for the most part, you're dealing with good people. I mean, if you're, you know, some kind of like drug enforcement agent, yeah, you're going to be dealing with different people, but you're pulling over random people on the street. Yeah, we need to retrain our police officers I mean, that's, you know, you can teach them how to think all you want, but they need to actually know the laws. You know, that's the first part of their job that they need to know.
If you them, would you enforce them?
Now what?
If you actually knew them, would you enforce them? Like, would you have a good conscience enforcing some of these things that, like, we know, like, if there's no injury, there's no crime?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's it. I mean, I couldn't take somebody to jail for having a joint on them. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a victimless crime. There is no. Yeah, I think the laws need to be changed in a lot of ways. Really.
I mean, that's
if there's victims, how could there be a crime?
Plants being put on this planet are like a God-given right. You know what I mean? Like, how could someone take that away or limit that or say like what plant you could use or what plant you couldn't use? You know?
That's them saying God was wrong. Man knows better.
Mm-hmm. The whole war on drugs is just ridiculous. Look at Amsterdam. Look at their crime rate to some of the crime rates we have here in the United States.
Well, you were talking about the concert and the fight after with the drunk dudes. I mean, you go to a concert and if there's a fight, it's the drunk dudes. It's never the guys in the corner getting high in the back, passing a joint. You know, you can't even get in a fight when you're high. It's like, hey, man, hey,
give me a hug.
Right. Hey, how you doing?
Vividness.
Hit
She's
this.
saying there's a difference between legal and lawful is key. And Vividness and myself have been chatting back and forth about legal terms for probably like the past year or so, and she really knows what she's talking about in a sense. And we always compare like how it is here in America compared to for her over there, like if it's the same or whatever.
Yeah, I was watching
pretty
Netflix.
universal.
I saw Netflix do a preview for this big anti-government, like, ooh, we have to free these enslaved people secretly underground so that the government doesn't find out, and all of these terroristic acts. I mean, the Underground Railroad's illegal. It was illegal to free the slaves. That's not your property. You don't get to free somebody else's property, don't you know? That's why the Underground Railroad was illegal. You couldn't hide a Jew up in your attic. That was illegal.
THC Truther, pardon me, he wants a link.
You betcha, Mike. I will send it to you over on Messenger. Probably.
King Shen in chat says cops are required to have a low IQ when hired, and that is very true. I think it's 105 here. You can't have an IQ over 105. Someone actually in New York, the state of New York, took them to court because he wanted to be a police officer like his whole life. And when he took the test and everything, they said you can't be a police officer. And he was like, well, why? And you scored too high in your test. He's like, that doesn't make sense. And he actually won. But yeah, for the most part, if you have too high of an IQ, and they've even shown this in like the movies, this isn't like some hidden thing.
I'm pretty sure he lost. He did not win that case. That's when
he did.
Supreme Court said, "Oh yeah, see the police, they can set their IQ limits. You can be too smart to work for the police. The police can choose not to hire you if your IQ is too high, and that's why we know that the police have that maximum IQ. You can only be
about the standardized testing though. Like, doesn't your IQ change over time, even as you get older? Like, you get forgetful and you forget stuff. Isn't your IQ constantly going up and down?
I'm sure you could probably take an intelligence quotient test 5 times in a row and get 5 different scores. But yeah, I imagine it is probably cyclical, and they have different types of IQ tests, and you'd probably score differently on different types. I've never been terribly worried about my IQ or anybody's IQ for that matter.
I took one once when I was blitzed drunk. Barely remember taking it. And I got a 119.
Nice.
Yeah, I took the one time I did take that was my exact score too. It was 119. Like, that just seems low.
Yeah, yours is higher than that.
When I was in junior high, they made me take a bunch of them. I don't know why, but they constantly, I had to do like 10 or 13 of them or something like that. Some random, like, why am I always doing this? Like, what's the point of this? And they kept making me take them. And then they wanted to put me into community college already instead of like going to high school and all stuff like that. And I was like, no way, I want to skateboard.
Yeah, it's an IQ test, or, I wouldn't really even call it an intelligence test. It's more like a problem solving puzzle type test now.
Are you good at following instructions?
I'm good at figuring stuff out.
Well, not following like is like, are you good at following instructions? That's what they're testing. That's what they think their IQ is, like a high IQ. Like, how good of a slave are you, or whatever,
Yeah. It was weird. Most of mine were like, it was all visual, and then there were some weird math problems. I don't remember most of it. I just remember seeing like tic-tac-toe boxes filled in with different colors, and then like picking which ones were, like, if you mirrored this, which one would it be? Stuff like that. It was a lot of like problem solving type stuff, like puzzles.
Voynich is saying
That
that
was
IQ tests are about
years ago.
pattern recognition.
Yeah, and that's what I've always
Yeah,
thought too.
right.
It's not necessarily about what you know for an IQ test, but your ability to sort of learn things on the fly. What's your ability to learn, your ability to process information, as opposed to just regurgitate it, but can you process it and produce the answer? And that's sort of what that IQ test was. And that's why it's getting that quotient
I think
for
that
your
you're
intelligence, not your knowledge. Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
I think that when you're talking about, Zach, it's the culture fair IQ test with the grids and the images and the pictures and stuff. And then there are those like you're talking about with the pattern recognition. I'm kind of trying to find those different ones and throw them at the links here. Give me a second.
And who writes the IQ test? That's one thing I always wondered, is who's coming up with these different tests and whatnot. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a way to measure intelligence to me.
It's a group of people that when they were in elementary school had to constantly go back and take fucking tests over and over again. And they wanted to put them in these community colleges and bump them up and move them forward, and all these, think tanks and government entities trying to separate the wheat from the chaff and make sure they fucking get the wheat.
Story of my life.
Yeah, I was put into a bunch of those classes when I was young, but then once I hit 6th grade, I got really into girls. And yeah, I became a distraction in many of my classes. Some of them, the teachers loved me, but most of them, I talked way too much. And yeah, I got removed from a lot of those classes. Don't sit me next to the cute girls. That's your own fault. We are joined by Mr. Mike LaBrash.
Nice.
Look out. THC Truther Hour Comedy. Check it out. Great show here on YouTube. Mike, you hearing us, brother?
Can you guys hear me? I forgot my mic wasn't plugged in. How's it going?
Yeah, you're good. What's up, Mike?
Yeah.
What's up, fam?
What's up?
Dude, I heard you guys
loving what you do.
Go ahead.
I like your blimp hat.
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love IRM. That's the shit. Nice.
I heard you talking about the police, and my previous lifestyle, I was very, very familiar with them. And it kind of got me into this life of truthing, man, because I got to see the inside of how things worked, and the way that I used to think about it from the outside changed once I started getting in trouble and seeing that the way that the inside was different than the way that I used to see it on the outside. And the one thing that I've noticed over all these years, watching cops through videos on YouTube, dealing with the police personally through my own personal, travelings and whatnots and dealings with, but they all act the same. You're going to find that no matter where you go, in every single county across this country, the police officers will all act the same. They have the same nervous shoulder twitch. They have the same, do me a favor. They have the same script. They all are extremely cloned when it comes to the way that, they all have the same stance and body language. I mean, you can notice that it's hard to see it at first, but when you see even their accents, they might have like a slightly different accent, but the way that they talk and their script that they say to citizens and civilians is a psychological thing. So the testing, like you said, Zach, who's doing this testing, who's writing these tests, it's by the same person across the entire plane. And they've got the cops and your enslavers all acting the exact same and knowing how to take advantage of you. It's wild stuff.
It's a little deeper though with the script though. The script is to get you to agree to these contractual things that you have no idea what you're agreeing to. And that's why the script is such the same. And obviously, like, these guys all went to some type of boot camp type training, whether you call that mind control or whatever. I mean, they do it with the military as well too. You cut the hair, put them under the vigorous
make them all look the same. Yep.
And it's
no, they really do. How long is the police academy? Was it 8 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that?
Like what a boot camp is.
Just like boot camp, and they make them. They put this mentality into their heads that everybody's out to get them. You know, like
Well,
you're
they
on
teach
one
you
side.
that, yeah, everyone's a liar.
We got break paranoid thoughts, right?
They teach you that everyone is a liar.
We're about to take a break real quick, Mike.
Stick around. We got hour number 2, the second half, coming up right after this. We got more great conversation.
Hi, my name is Ella. I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
I feel like you're trying to get out of bounds.
I go hard. I go hard, hard. If I were soft, I would not have gotten this hard. I go hard. I go hard. I go hard.
I'm familiar.
Yes, you are. I say, sit down, everybody. And they don't sit down. They refuse to sit down. They don't sit down. Sit down, everybody. And they don't sit down. They refuse to sit down. They don't sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Down. They refuse to sit down. They don't sit down. If I don't go all the way, if I don't win, it'll be a mistake. A complete waste of energy and money and money and money and money and money, money, money. I don't look back and say I wish I didn't do this or that. I'm not stupid. It's a fact. I never had a dream. The thing that gets me in trouble is the retweet or look at the tweet. I retweet. I respond to what they did to me. I'm not fight back. It's not a one-way street. I go hard. I go hard, hard. If I were soft, I would not have gotten this hard. I go hard. I go hard. I go hard.
I'm familiar.
Yes, you are hard.
Mr. Trump, some have suggested that you refuse to release your tax returns because of your extreme privacy concerning your hobbies.
Yes.
So, can you confirm or deny this list of personal pastimes?
Yeah, I guess so. Fingerboarding. I go hard.
Minecraft.
I go hard.
Podiatry.
I go hard.
Hacky sack.
I go hard.
Balloon animal.
I go hard.
Breeding cats.
I go hard.
CrossFit.
Waste of time.
Coloring.
I go hard.
Doing Zumba.
I go hard.
Water polo.
I go hard.
Playing tuba. Spray tan.
I go hard.
Driving Uber.
I go hard.
Putting together a bed frame from IKEA.
Waste of time.
While you're sequencing the entire human genome.
Waste of time. Waste of time.
Cytosine.
Waste of time.
Guanine.
Waste of time.
Adenine.
Waste of time.
Thymine.
Waste of time.
All the means.
Waste of time.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Morning. Here.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
Exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is.
up, David? Believe the dark matter is there.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
But we have never detected it.
The volume is so loud for the.
Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite.
How much did you pay these women to
Come
say
join the
this?
family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune into the Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
And welcome back to the first half of the second half of the Ironworx. Kicking off right now, we have got a full house this morning, which is always fun to see this early. You're joined this morning
For the record, Michael, those are non-solicit. No, we did solicit for them, but those are non-paid testimonials
Those
from
are
our
the
loving
voices
audience.
I've ever heard, by the way.
Do what now? I didn't hear you.
They have the coolest accents I've ever heard.
Dude, there's so many amazing voices in there, including a gentleman who should be a voice actor, a voiceover guy there at the end.
Yeah.
Dude, is his voice not fucking amazing?
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
at,
where did you
Brian?
pay these
I
people?
know, dude. It sounds like we paid a guy for it. He has an amazing voice. We've been telling him to get some voiceover. Where you at, Brian? Shout out, Brian.
That's awesome, man.
Forever be true.
To the Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Shout out, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Almost sounds like Zach.
And
Yeah,
Zach
but his
sounds
is-
like Steve Martin, so it's all a big weird thing.
His is a lot thicker and richer. Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
Oh, shit.
420. Time to roll.
Oh, shit.
Get going.
Oh,
I
shit.
do
It's
a big
420.
time
It's
to
420
roll.
house. We got the new toy things.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's what's taking you to Mars, I see.
Right?
Yeah, I found a new way.
Is that the
Mushrooms.
gravity?
Dude, I don't have enough lung to pull through that, I don't think.
I thought so too, but
It would take 3 people, wouldn't it?
But so, like,
Yeah.
check it out. Your lungs, you get like this perceived more capacity when it's a cleaner vacuum hit, and that's kind of what this does. Is it gives you that perfect hit. And I thought that and I'm breathing it out like, oh my gosh, wow, how much smoke did I put in there? Like, I didn't think I could put that much in there. But when it's a clean hit and there's no air in there and stuff, and it's just this pure smoke, it's really good.
Yeah, those guys that make that glass, they design it that way so you get that perfect hit, like every time, the perfect airflow, the perfect everything with it.
It's amazing how far we've come from soda cans.
Toilet paper.
I wanted to go back and just add real quick, because that's one of my favorite subjects is police and citizens' rights, because I think that's where like truthing really does start, is at the locality of the government and your immediate the police are your like immediate government, that you're something that you're going to deal with on a daily basis. Like, that's your only form of government that you would deal with on a regular basis, or that you see on a regular basis. But talking about that intelligence level, man, they seek out order followers. They don't seek out leaders and intelligent individuals. Like you said, they seek on the low intelligence scale, so that when I say jump, you're not asking how high. You've already jumped 10 times, you know? They want people to immediately react and not question anything. So that's the kind of people they're looking for.
I also think that people are really confused on what their job is. If you just look at the formation of them back in the early New York Times, whatever, they were there to protect corporations. They're not here to protect you. And once you realize that, then you probably divorce a lot of your concepts. And once you realize what's really going on and what these...
Well, they're still actually working for a corporation, so it all comes back full circle.
Exactly, but they want to get you trapped into their contractual agreement that you don't have to agree to. So it's very imperative that you understand what these things mean when they say, hey, where are you driving to? You're not driving, you're traveling. If you're driving, you're engaging by DMV definition, you're engaging in a commercial activity, and that puts you under their jurisdiction. And that allows them to do whatever the fuck they want to you. So when you're crying on the side of the road, when they beat the fuck out of you because you were trying to resist, you didn't need to resist.
You just say, I'm not operating a vehicle. Yeah, you tell them, I'm not operating this vehicle. Yep. It's all about definitions. This is stuff we should have been taught in school.
That's what I was just about to say, Zach, is there's a couple things they don't teach you in school, and that's about yourself, the law, and the place you live, and the larger in the plane that we live on. Those are the kind of the three major things they don't teach us. They want you to not know about yourself. They want you to be involved in the system, and they don't want you to know about the place you live.
So they taught me how to balance a checkbook in government class. That was my government class.
Like
they didn't
the
teach me about my rights.
Say like the government can balance a fucking checkbook.
I'm sorry, I get a little passionate about this subject because a lot of people just get tricked into this stuff, and I just don't want any of you to be tricked. Just expand your knowledge base. I mean, I'm not saying that none of you don't know, but even what you do know, it goes deeper than what you think. Just keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. Don't stop. There's a lot of good information out there, and there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube about these subjects. There's a lot of good channels on this as well.
Knowing your basic rights can cause you, the difference in losing your freedom, not just a day or two of freedom, but you might get caught up in something where you lose years of your life because you didn't know how to deal with it, or you didn't, quite know what to say at the time. And you thought because the officer was like, tell me this and do that, that you just follow order, and then you turn into an order follower and you stand up straight when the police show up. Stop that shit.
Well, have you guys ever tried to work in sales?
Been in sales my whole life.
Cold, hard close fucking sales. When you get in these
Detail?
sales meetings and you have a sales manager and all the other salespeople around you, it's a mindset, right? It's a mentality. And you can usually spot a salesman even when he's not selling his product, because it's a personality, it's a mindset. And that's why they hold all the sales meetings and all these things, because it's you gain trust and you keep people into that mindset. ABC, man, always be closing. You always got to be trying to sell. And that's always the concept. And you can always see it in people always trying to, whether it's they're selling their position on a subject or they're selling whatever latest widget their company is putting out. It's a mindset, and it helps to kind of brainwash. When you hire on, you can see you're all in on this sales or you're not. And those that are all in on that sales are the ones that trained to be salesmen. And that's the same thing with cops. It requires that mentality, and that puts them into the police academy, and those that can maintain that mentality. It's the police mentality. It's, I'm going to readjust my bulletproof vests and when I get uncomfortable and don't know what to say, because damn it, I'm uncomfortable. I just don't know what to say and what to do.
Yep.
So I'm just, well,
that nervous twitch.
Yep. It's, and as long as you can keep them in that mindset, they don't ever have to look outside of it, because they're having all of their psychological needs met by that blue line gang, just like any other street gang, right? We give you brotherhood and camaraderie and emotional support for when you go ahead and shoot somebody in the face. We'll be right there to pat you on the back and tell you it's going to be okay.
And high five you and tell you what a great job you did.
Right. Because it helps keep everybody in that mentality. Because if you start to stray outside of that mentality, you'll and look back at what's really going on, you bounce. You're like, oh, there's no fucking way I can participate in that shit.
They've brainwashed. The cops are brainwashed. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They have been tricked into believing that what they're doing is righteous, even though they know that's like, you can watch video after video of cops taking advantage of citizens knowingly, not by accident, and not because they weren't informed or because they didn't take the right class or they weren't trained correctly, but because they enjoy the power trip that they have. They enjoy the little gold shield and the little costume and the gun they have, the authority that gives them to take someone's life and to cause anguish and to ruin someone's entire life over a speeding ticket, gives them a sense of power. And that's like a king power. It's power over everyone you walk around all day long. No one's going to mess with you because of that. Like Josh just said, the blue line gang. So it's a really bad brainwash in itself.
And you just spoke about that costume, man. I was watching, of all things, this paranormal investigation show, which I never watch because they're so cheesy, but it happened to have somebody in it I was in. I'm not going to give it any props. But one of the people they went to talk to was a retired officer. And they were talking about going to meet him. And he had been retired for like probably 10, 15 years. And when they showed up, he literally looked like a cop in uniform. But it was all like paranormal related insignia on the hat, and the badge was some kind of paranormal little, like almost a pentagram looking thing. And so he just, to be in that character, he still had to carry that past retirement, into his real life, this fucking costume. And then you talk about military and that breaking down of your personality and that whole mental mindset that keeps people able to do the horrific fucking shit that they do and don't apparently have problems sleeping over.
That's the thing, man. They're switched off. When you talk about they have no problem sleeping, that there's something that's switched. They have gone over to the dark side. They don't have recourse. They don't have remorse for what they've done. They don't give a shit. They don't feel guilt anymore.
They're doing it for the greater good. That's all part of
That's
their
what I mean. They're
brainwashing.
somehow brainwashed them into thinking they're doing it for the righteous cause.
Because
Well, I don't even think it's a righteous cause. Have you ever heard of the Stanford prison experiment?
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'm sure when you start explaining.
They just took, students from Stanford, split them up. They had a group. Half of them were guards. Half of them were the inmates. After a week, the guards, these are your fellow students. These aren't criminals. These are people that you knew already. They were treating them worse than a lot of the stuff we see taking place in prisons. After just a week, there's this mentality.
I'm talking evil stuff where that's what I mean by switched off. Like your brain starts thinking in a different way. Like,
yeah, it does. It really does. They don't know why it happens to a lot of these guards, but they get this
power.
Weird.
It's a power thing.
It corrupts them.
It corrupts your brain. When you have authority over another human, which in itself is wrong. It's a hoax to have authority over another human being. That's not a real thing. You cannot have authority over another human. You see? So to give you this false illusion that you're in control of someone, that's wild.
You do have to be a little careful about the definitions, though, because they can redefine words. I mean, just because driving in maybe a Black's Law dictionary says, for commercial purposes, that doesn't mean the state can't come and, in their legislation, redefine what driving is.
Well, they could say three things in the same sentence, 3 words in the same sentence. It doesn't have to be just that one word. I'm saying when you're aware of of the terms and what they actually mean, like you would never protest ever again. Like you would, there's all these things that you wouldn't do because you would know what the words mean. So you have to understand the definitions. So even if there's just the one driving, he could say, and yada, 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 yada in this county puts you under their jurisdiction again. So you get trapped many ways. I mean, it's a play on words all the way around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was brainwashed on a few words my whole life. I thought they meant one thing, and really they meant almost the exact opposite.
Right.
apocalypse. I thought the apocalypse was the end of the world, destruction,
Right, doom,
chaos.
destruction, end of day.
I come to find out it's a great thing. Yeah, it's the unveiling. It's all truths will be revealed. That's what apocalypse means. So all their lies, all their hidden knowledge, all their secrets are going to come out. Yeah, that would be terrifying to them.
Don't you feel that they're already all coming out now? Like, don't we
Yeah,
see it every week
it's
on
been
YouTube?
happening. Yeah, for a decade, we've been in the apocalypse. There's been so many truths coming out over the last decade.
Even if they're a little misconstrued, they're given the general point of some of these things, and even if they're hidden in like not popular channels, it's out there.
Mm-hmm. Anarchy is another word. Anarchy, I thought, was, same thing. Chaos, bedlam, everybody,
your guardian.
Mad Max. When anarchy just means you still have rules, you just don't have a ruler. There is no king, there is no
this
president.
is why they place these like stipulations on people, like, oh well, if you don't want to answer our questions and do what we say, then you're a sovereign citizen, and they put these labels on you to put you out of society and try to.
Not a citizen, though. This is the trick. You're either sovereign, but you're not a sovereign citizen. You're either sovereign or you're not. You're not a sovereign citizen. That makes you a slave. So you're never a sovereign citizen. So everyone really needs to be mindful of the words. And I'm telling you, this is how they trick you.
And this is why you say this is why you're sorry to cut you off, but that's why one of your constitutional rights is to be quiet, because admitting guilt on yourself is the easiest form of money. If you just tell the cop that you did it, there's nothing you can say or do after that point to not give the people their money they want when they find you guilty. Everything's legal for a price, and they want you to break the law. They need you to break the law because it keeps the system going.
And
Indeed.
for the record, they're not your constitutional rights. They're constitutional protections of your natural rights. It's not our Constitution. It's we, the people, who wrote the Constitution for the government, making sure they understand just what their limitations are.
Just what
correct. But that's why they've switched it on us and brainwashed into thinking that it's their rules, right? It's our rules for them to not take us over as people.
Well, this is where the 14th Amendment comes in. And again, more of the same trickery. Because now we're citizens, right? We're not slaves anymore. We'll do away with slavery. Slavery is now unlawful.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not. But
right. Well, this is the whole concept behind the 14th Amendment, is the fact that we're going to do away with slavery and do away with sovereignty. And we'll just make everybody U.S. citizens. And then they have these things in law which are called unrebuttable presumptions. And I think this is where subject matter jurisdiction and things like that start to really come into play.
And you just mentioned another brainwash word, the United States, but we're all in borders in different counties. There's no united about it.
Well, each state is a country in and of itself. This is why I always look at America as, everything from this whole Western hemisphere is basically America.
You're a citizen of the country you're born in, meaning the state you're born in.
Exactly.
Not the territory. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand any of these distinctions. They're like, you're never going to be taught this. You're never going to inform you how to figure this stuff out. You have to find this stuff out on your own. This is I think I was mentioning this one time I was on the show. The biggest, best law library in the world is here in Compton, California. It's the public library in Compton, California, and no one even goes. It's free.
Awesome.
It's better than Harvard's little jam, or whoever's this school or whatever university, and it's free, and no one even cares.
So I just read the 14th Amendment. It's crazy because they add this word in there, these couple words. Just at the very, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Yep.
So that right there tells you that
what you need to do is define.
You don't have to be a citizen.
Define person, because you're not a person. You're not a person's or a person, even though they've taught you that vocabulary your whole life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know it. Yeah.
So you need to define every word, and this is where.
And that's the thing when they amend. That's a scary thing to go and amend and like Zach just said, like there's a trick word or a key word. If they just go in and add one word and they distract you with a Will Smith and they got President Biden making executive orders and adding one word to something, it could change the course of history, right?
And it did. That's why there's two different constitutions. One will have unalienable rights and one is unalienable rights. One's a constitution of the United States, one's a constitution for the United States. There's only a couple different copies of like the original Constitution, where the 14th Amendment isn't about U.S. citizenship. It's about being knighted, having like what's the word I'm looking for? We've got about 5 minutes before we hit the break.
And I was going to go to sleep.
It's Tona. Titles of nobility. Thank you. Tona. The original 14th Amendment was the Tona. It's Titles of Nobility Act, because if you were granted a title of nobility by a foreign power, by a foreign ruler, you could no longer be considered part of this country, right? You were no longer, you couldn't run for office. You couldn't do anything because you were like an agent of a different country. You weren't part of this. You were great. You were now a noble of a different country.
A noble.
Yeah, a title of nobility. That's why,
you know what I mean? Everyone has a title. That's what I mean by these kings and queens and these royalties. They didn't go anywhere. They just changed the words. They're going to change the word down the road and they'll change the word again. And they'll never know the difference between who's your enslaver and who's not.
Buildings, they refacade their image. Everything is they just change it around. They became this to that. They're just rebranding themselves, whatever you want to call it. It's the same.
Right. It's like a rebranding. That's a great way to say it.
But it's the
company is still there.
Refacading them, pretending they're new buildings, but they're the same old buildings. They're the same brick below,
Well, you said it's really sad no one goes to that free library there close to you, David, that has all that information on law. Why do they need that? I mean, they could watch Law and Order on TV. Even better, they can watch the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Fuck, dude, that's all the law you need, right? Now, they didn't show them the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. We didn't see that one, unfortunately, but we did see that old Johnny Depp trial now, didn't we?
But look what kind of neighborhood they put it in. They put it in the most high crime rate neighborhood in the country at one point.
They televised fecal shitting sexual acts and girls punching men. The most back-assward shit you could possibly think of to get your brain fucked up. Look, man, they're just distracting each and every one of you.
Yeah, and brutal.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
It's never a televised thing about some real case. Why the fuck are we watching actors and actresses about their domestic dispute? Like, turn that shit off.
Well, that's what they are, actors and actresses. It's not even real. None of it's real. It's all production. That's not really happening. And if you guys want to believe that's really happening in this circus of these courts, then you guys are...
They would be televising some much major shit. There is way bigger, important stuff out there to where nothing about Hollywood matters. But as long as you're looking, as long as you're clicking, as long as you're typing and talking about it like me right now, it exists,
But does no one questioning like how that dude looks the same age for like 90 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, he's obviously wearing a mask.
I want YouTube to just let me know how many more times I have to click "Don't recommend this bullshit" to me before they're actually not going to recommend it.
They just don't. They don't care. They were trying to get me with the C word one for a long time. I kept putting like no, reporting it as spam, everything. Like, get it away from my feed. And they just keep coming with it.
Would you like us to stop brainwashing you? Yes. Would you still like us to stop brainwashing? Yeah.
Well, we are slowly coming up to the end of the third segment here, guys. That went quick.
It did go quick.
I love having these good
conversations. Yes, it is. Yes,
it flies by.
Yeah, great conversation.
And on the other side of the break, David, I want to get into a little bit about these tinctures and other stuff too.
The stuff that I made for you guys. Yeah, absolutely. And we could talk about all that stuff. Absolutely, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm looking for my jar right here. I know it's here. I bet she's got it in there next to her on the couch in there. That's probably where it is. We passed one back and forth because I didn't want to open anymore because, as I said, hopefully we'll be able to get them out there to people soon.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you got them to some of the people that are in the community that that are always in the chat. You know, everyone's really cool. Everyone's really welcoming every time I come in the room. So I made that with the intentions for y'all to get it. I mean, and also to help out Walt and just, you know, everyone just to try something new, you know?
Heck yeah, beautiful. That does it for the third segment here on the Ironworks.
Stick around. We do have more to come. Mike from THC, Truthers Hour of Comedy. David M. Lots more to come this last half hour. We'll be right back.
Hard to be funny this
social
early in the
problems
morning,
be
but
kind of like professional
I
disaster.
pull those, dog.
So, for example, if I know that I've been late a few times, I've been late a few times in a social sense, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. Oh, I'll arrive late. You know, I gotta make an entrance, and you're used to that in a social setting. And people have said, hey, Jabari, don't be late, man. You're like, all right, no problem. I'll show to the party uptown next time.
Yeah.
That social issue becomes a professional disaster because if you're late in that social sense, when you're late as a professional, you could miss out on an opportunity. People will see that you're coming in late, so they may limit the recommendations they have for other people for you towards other people, and then it just doesn't show good for your brand. So to circumvent that, it's, you know, find out what your social problems are, so to speak. What do you do, maybe internally or with friends, that people have told you there's a problem, and fix it there, so that it doesn't affect you and become a professional disaster.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Remote viewing reveals Tataria history, starseeds, lightworkers, and indigos. Join me on the Nikki Colombo Show. It's time to reclaim our true history, our true timelines, our cosmic heritage. And remember to be humble, for you are made of earth, and to be noble, for you are
Satisfaction.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR. Frequency Radio.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again."
And welcome back. Fourth and final segment of the Ironworks kicking off right now. There we go. Now we're kicking off.
Fool me a fourth time. You fool me. Fool.
And I pity the fool.
Oh, Mr. T. That guy changed the Indies so much.
What does he say?
Pity the fool.
Pity the fool.
I pity the fool.
I pity the fool that don't eat my cereal.
Remember, don't eat my cereal. Damn.
Well, when he had the cereal,
talk about a sales pitch.
Yeah, no, dude, not at all. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey man, I tell you what, there's some smart people in this
I used the Pee-wee in my little intro there that Josh plays, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Real quick, shout out to Bill Wold in chat, choking me to death, commenting on the fact that there's no forging here, no ironworking going on at all. Yeah, you're right, Bill. Just a lot of coughing and
hacking,
truth talking.
That's us.
That's epic. Thank you. Epic. And then Roadcock actually mentions, welcome back, by the way, Roadcock. Sometimes wishing we would stream from outside. I used to actually, on our Friday show, take a walk quite often with my phone. And then I got a new phone. And that don't work out too much anymore. So I'll see about maybe doing that Friday, getting out there. But it's kind of tough for us at 4 in the morning to go strolling around. There won't be much natural light or any of that.
It's just real loud by the river here. I'd be out back a lot more, but yeah, it's just too loud out there. I will definitely Friday night take a walk through the garden though, show everybody what's going on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Is your profile picture, Zach, the one is the river near you now?
No, that's Yellow River number 5 up in Minnesota.
Okay.
That's right there.
That's a really nice pic, by the way.
Yeah, a motorboat hasn't touched that water in I forget how many years.
Really?
There's no motorboats allowed up there. Yeah, it's called the boundary water. Yep, all canoes, kayaks, stuff like that. We did canoes. And you have to portage. It's not like you can even get to that river without picking up your canoe and all your gear and walking a bit. I think you had to portage 3 times to get to that one there. So it's like out in the middle. We saw one group of people. It was like a guy with like 5 or 6 Boy Scouts, and their canoe just got tipped. And we let them warm up by our fire for a little bit, and then it was raining all day that day. But, yeah, that was how many people we saw. We were out there for 4 days that time. It's heaven. I saw more deer and bear than people. Yeah. On June 22nd up there, the continental U.S., the 48 states, it has the most sunlight in the U.S. on that day. That's why we always go to.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, it's gorgeous up there. I love it. I haven't been in, over a decade. I'm kind of scared to go see how much it's grown up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, beautiful country. If you ever want to go somewhere and get away, northern Minnesota is gorgeous. It really is. So what tinctures, Josh? We wanted to talk about tinctures.
That's right. A little bit of Blissful Wizard and the tinctures. I may even just go ahead and post that list again because that's a beautiful list.
I could talk about it. I mean, I know what's in it off the top of my head. You know,
look at you go. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think that the first time I made it for somebody that had lupus, if I remember correctly. But anyways, I've just been constantly reformulating, and it's just it's a pretty simple recipe. I mean, the whole concept behind of it is I generally grow the flower and then extract the flower, like a whole plant extraction, and then I use the roots. That's what makes it different than most stuff out there. And one thing I was talking about on Santo's Bonacci show is a lot of people sell CBD, and there's CBD products, and everyone has CBD this, CBD that. But there's two different types of CBD. I mean, there's multiple types of CBD. There's regular CBD acid when it's in the raw form, or when it's activated. And what everyone's getting is not activated. And so when I was researching like Shiva and all these dudes, they were activating their pineal gland with cannabis, and you have CB1 receptors in your brain. And when they were activating this hemp, because they weren't doing the high THC version of it to make the soma, they were probably mixing maybe ephedra and some magic mushroom. I don't really know. There's a lot of controversy about that, whatever. But besides that, they knew that the CBD affected the gland that is like the glands that power the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. So it was really important that you activated it, because they would like cook it on a slow open fire, essentially. The same thing you would do when you make a edible. You need to decarboxylate it and heat it to a certain extent to get it to be psychoactive, to change its physical property from THC acid into like THC or THCV, depending on how long you cook it, or whatever other compounds where it changes throughout the heat. So not a lot of people will talk about that and stuff like that. So basically I do a process where I activate the CBD, and then everything that I use is cold press. I can't get all the ingredients. I use a bunch of different ingredients, like olive oil. We've been trying to source it from this place. They do it yearly, and they're here locally in Temecula, California. And they do like a super organic version. So we just try to source it from them locally. I don't grow olives and press them and do all that shit. Hemp seeds I do make, and I do make all types of seeds. So I also process all the seeds. The seeds are very important. The enzymes in the seeds are really important. So
they are so nutritious.
I sprout them before I even mix them into these things. And basically I'm using just like mango butter. I'm making two versions, like a vegan version, and I'm also making one with beeswax, because beeswax will seal a cut, and it's antimicrobial and antibacterial, and it's super good for you if you have any open wounds, or like people that older people that I've been helping have pressure wounds and stuff like that. So I've been trying to formulate stuff that works really good for that type of situation. And then people just were like, hey, I need some of that. Can I get some of that? But I'm not trying to sell a product here. I only made this batch. I do sell stuff, but I'm not trying to promote myself or sell any products here. I made a batch specifically for Iron Realm, the show, and it was for you guys, the people here. So I just wanted to tell you about it. It's like mango butter, hemp seed oil. I have a Sauna 727 juicer, and it has like a nut and seed cold press thing, so it doesn't ever go over 30 degrees. I'm really careful about my temperatures. I mix everything under the full moon, 2 different full moons, because I had to stop because I was actually making it out of town, and I had to come home and do something else and then go back out of town to finish it. So I did it under 2 different full moon cycles. And then I also use I've been putting a DMSO in there, and because that gives a deeper penetration, and it gives a deeper penetration.
I'm just going to ask you about that, man. That some of those other things you have in there must be synergistically making it penetrate more.
Absolutely. And then, I put a little coconut MCT oil in there. And then I think that batch, I'm not really sure, because I have like 60, 70 batches going at the same time right now. So I'm like, I'm making this for so-and-so, this for so-and-so, and this for so-and-so. And I'm like trying to keep juggle all that, because some people don't like colloidal silver, or it doesn't react well with them or something like that. Or other people don't like magnesium or MSM or stuff like that. So some people's skin are real sensitive. So I have to make sure with certain.
Well, that was, remember I told you that in my email that I'm very sensitive, unfortunately. I'm sure due to my mom being so, strenuously making sure I got all my shots growing up. Anyway, I have, yeah, man, even a fragrance in my detergent and clothes, whatever, my skin will react. So I was making sure you sent me that list so I didn't put something on me that might cause a reaction. And some of the things in that list I really wasn't sure about, but I went for it, and it actually has been like very healing for my skin. I mean, it's made places that were issues, like little whatever cat scratches that happened to be in a spot that I was using for a sore muscle or an aching back or whatever, and it seemed like it helped them heal better. So yeah, it's pretty magical stuff.
Yeah, everything I used in it, it's like I think it's like 9 different seed oils or whatever, and they're all for the skin, specifically for the skin, specifically to heal the skin. And then I also wanted people to get like deeper like muscle penetration so they could get that CBD whole plant entourage effect to the muscle directly and really get those receptors and like help that get kickstarted and going for your body so your body could start healing itself. Because when we take stuff like CBD and THC, we got to take it consecutively to get the body to start making its own, because the body does make its own stuff that the body essentially needs and stops making it or slows down making it because we're affecting our diets or we're doing other things to ourselves that are not natural, or we're getting exposed to chemicals constantly. So that's a real big factor. And then I put essential oils in these things, and I don't remember what essential oils I used in those ones. It was kind of like last minute, like I got to get this done, get it out. I don't want to miss the deadline. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has a lot of good intentions in it. So whoever it finds, I think that they'll find some. I know they'll find some healing and just goodness. That's pretty much what's in it.
Cold pressed regenerative coconut oil, mango butter, shea butter, hemp seed oil, grape seed oil, avocado seed oil, virgin olive oil, grape seed oil, black castor seed oil, castor oil, aloe vera, jojoba oil, apricot seed oil, colloidal silver, DMSO, magnesium, menthol, MSM, coconut MCT oil, holy shit, and essential oils. Is the list you sent me good?
Yeah, and there's also like I think those ones have beeswax that came from Southern California from a guy that's a beekeeper. Like we sourced it. Everything that I got from someone else, like I had to source it from like a guy that's like the best guy at doing what he does, or like he's really passionate about his bees, or I didn't want to just. I'm not trying to make $1 million of these things and make $1 million. This is not some like get rich overnight type of scheme. I made this stuff to help people heal specifically, and that was it. And that's really what my intention behind it was.
And that's so much of it. I mean, the ingredients and their purities, that's important stuff, but the intent can overwhelm even, not the purest ingredients. Like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich that your mom made for you when you were young. You will never have another peanut butter and jelly that tastes that good, because your mom wanted you to get big and strong and grow, and she wanted it, to nurture you. And that intent that she put into that made that sandwich so much better than just the ingredients in there. And that's like David said, he did this specifically that's how I try to do everything.
And I did it on set my intentions for it with it on the full moon and all types of stuff like that. I'm really into following the moon cycles. All my gardening is based on moon cycles. So everything I do has to be done in cycles. And some people are like, hey, dude, like do this now. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. I have to follow the cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't deviate. When I deviate, that's when things go awry,
Want us to start following the moon, but I've been gardening for, I don't know, about a decade now. And I found that waiting for when the plants tell you, for me, I get this weird feeling. Like, I'll have it all planned out. We plan and the creator laughs. It's like, okay, today I'm going to put these plants out here and I'm going to do this and this and this. And I get up and I go to start doing it. And it's like I get this weird feeling where they're just like, no, it's not time. I get that feeling. I listen. I just say, oh, okay. All right. Not today then. We'll do it. We'll try it tomorrow or in a couple days. And maybe they're working on the moon cycle and I'm just not paying enough attention. But yeah, I tend to listen to those little intuitions that I get when I'm out there. You know, I focus on them so much. I'm avoiding the outside world that when you just hear those little things in your head and it's like, oh, okay. All right. We'll do that.
Yeah, no, I've had that same experience. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're so knowledgeable," and I'm like, honestly, I learned it from the trees and plants. Like, they just started transmitting this like stuff to me somehow, and I just started having this understanding. And I realized what it is like when you have this relationship with these plants, you eat the leaves, and there's DMTs, and there's all types of stuff in it. And that's what just triggered what's inside of you. You know what I'm saying? So like it's this symbiotic relationship that we're meant to have.
You're one now.
All these different plants, and we don't know anything about the species of the plants that are around or what's in our garden. At least most of us don't. And some of us do. And even some of us, like myself, I'm like, fuck, I have to cut those weeds, but I want to leave them for the bees. But my neighbors are probably like, dude, you're devaluing the property value, asshole. You know what I mean? And I'm like trying to like appease everyone at one aspect, as well as the birds, because all the seeds those plants put off into my grass or whatever. And I don't grow grass actually, but like in those areas, I try to keep it just dirt.
Yeah, I don't want grass. My neighbors are always like, if you just threw some grass seed down, I told them like first time, hey, I can't eat grass.
Right.
See all that right there? That's food. That's food. That's food. I mean, this whole yard. Now I found out you can eat the whole salvia plant, and it's really good for you. And we have like
you can eat salvia.
Yeah, we have a huge patch in our yard, and it's very nutritious.
Eating local where you're living to is very important. So eating that plant that grows in your yard is crucial.
It's weird that that we take care of the weed like grass. We're like, oh, let's make it look beautiful. Let's make this stupid fucking thing look good.
I eat something wild every single day.
Think if you were.
Because you're a wild man, Zach.
Think if you're getting charged by the earth, so is that plant, and you guys are both that same frequency. Like you have to eat that. That plant was made for you.
Did you see? Did you guys happen to catch the Big Skinny show on Sunday?
No, I was sleeping. I was up for like 2 days before I did the Santos thing, and then I slept all the way through all that, and then took these kids out to do some video recording.
Yeah, they showed this picture of a wild mushroom and an organically grown mushroom.
Did see that.
And the wild mushroom had so much more energy. They were taking Carillion photography.
Where they show the resonance of it, whatever.
Yeah. And the wild mushroom just looked like it was screaming. It had white all around it, sticking out about an inch. And the organically grown one had like no white. There was like a blue haze going out around it, couple of little electrical discharges. It looked totally different.
I could see that organic, just the term is it's something you pay to get certified for. I mean, it's not
exactly.
You might be able to grow it better. They might have been able to use better examples of organic. You know what I'm saying?
I have an example of that. I think about this all the time. Is like areas where war is fought, the land is cursed, and plants won't grow.
Yeah, that's what some of those deserts could possibly. I mean, because we can terraform it with a cow. You can turn sand into black gold. It doesn't take.
They're already doing that in some other country. Like some guys are already doing like all like big areas at a time, and turning desert into like paradise oasis looking places.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long to turn that into soil again. And then once you get plant life growing there, then there's water circulation, and you start getting rain. It's amazing.
I mean, that's why the cow is so important. And the cow is the one that has allowed us to survive and allow us to migrate and allow us to go all these places and do all these things. The cow's super important to these soils. And I can't even tell you if the cow is an original animal or if it's a hybrid. You know what I mean? I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I just know how important of an animal it is, and just the magic mushroom as well. affects your endocannabinoid system. And when you use THC and these different fungal, you get some good information.
Oh yeah, they're all connected. Isn't the biggest organism on Earth a fungus?
It is.
It's like
indeed.
intertwined in the soil,
Yeah,
and
it is.
Yeah, they have like one fungus mass that's as big as the U.S. at least. And that's
Mushrooms,
probably all that's
precisely.
living still. It probably used to be all one fungal mass at one point. And some of that turned crystal when it petrified, maybe. Who knows?
mushrooms are the rebirth of the world. Everything is recycled through mushrooms.
it's amazing.
Biodiversity because of mushrooms. Without
Yeah, like
mushrooms.
you were saying, the like cows. A cow
Mushrooms,
will.
which don't fit into any of the species, phyla, anything on the planet. Planet. I was back in when I was a biology student. Sorry, but yeah, it was hammered. I know, God, I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, it's been hammered in that they don't fit in. They don't fit in anywhere. They're not really a plant.
the
They're not really
octopus.
an animal. Exactly. Yep, very much like the octopi there.
Activities.
We're getting really close to going, guys.
They're good for our microbiome. And lion's mane is so good for your mind. Like, taking a lot of that stuff fresh is so good for you.
Oh, I looked into that stuff you talked about on our show, and I cannot remember the name of it now. That oil dripping stuff you put in the water, and it's made from mushrooms. It's like a black goo. Damn it, man, it's gone. It won't come back. Yeah, you told me about it. I looked it up. I've probably got some. I'm going to order it. Set it aside. Anyway, that's beside the point. We're running out of time quick. What I want to tell everybody is
it the fulvic acids? The humic acids and fulvic acids? It might have been.
Was that it?
Yeah,
that might be it.
Probably.
Maybe that was it. Anyway, okay, we got a few minutes left. What we're going to do is tomorrow during our weekly pre-show prep, we're going to sit down and figure out a way to do this. Probably a contest, because unfortunately I don't even have enough on hand for the chat people we have right now in
I
here.
could donate 24 more, and you could.
Well, hold up. We're going to talk. Let's talk about this tomorrow, because I mean, I'm like, here in the middle of nowhere. Literally, I'm going to have to travel somewhere to get this stuff shipped. So we'll work it out. Let's work that out. I can get what I've got here dealt with, but going forward, we'll work it out a different way. But I want to say that we're going to figure out a way to do it so that it's completely like I said, a contest, something we have no control over, of like whatever. And if David can donate some more, then maybe we'll have enough for everybody. But like I said, it sounds like a great idea to interact, get everybody excited, have some fun, make it fun. We'll just have to talk about it tomorrow during our little weekly meeting and figure out details. And we will.
And
that's a promise.
That's what we shall be doing tomorrow. Mike, why don't you remind everybody what you got going? I know you and Austin have sort of joined forces in a few different places and been knocking shit out of the park.
Yeah, dude. I'm just coming up with new stuff all the time as much as I can to get into the truth of the world, that it's not all flat Earth, but of course, the plane we live on is extremely important. There are plenty of other things going on. Tonight at 7 p.m. on THC, we've got the co-host who's newly joined the forces again with THC. Chris Free from Who Hall. His brother has just gotten married, and Chris was able to turn his new sister-in-law toward the flat Earth side, and she understands and gets everything, and she's a flat Earther now. But his brother is just a little bit more reluctant, so we're gonna have a nice little interview tonight with them, and hopefully turn him on to the truth. So come join us 7 p.m. Eastern Time, THC channel. And then I'm always going to be on the Awake and Bake show over on Austin's channel, the Melodome Awake and Baked, every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. So you can come check me out there too.
Good stuff.
And Mike,
and if you want a cool hat that says I love Iron Realm Media, you can go to thcshow.live and get yourself one.
What? That's what's up. Thank you, brother. And you and me got to make this happen. We've missed it.
I know.
We've got to, man. And Austin too. I saw you in chat, man. Yeah. I keep saying I'm gonna come hang out on your show, and just can't make it happen for some reason.
Okay, man.
We're gonna work on it this week. We're gonna fucking set a date, and I will make it happen. All right.
Okay.
Well, sweet. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us this morning. Made for a great show.
Yeah, it was fun. Y'all have a great day out there, evening, night, whatever it is. Love y'all.
Thunder Chicken in chat, go back to the beginning of the show. There was some great praise headed your way and lots of thanks. So
yes, it's the reason I haven't responded to you yet, Alexander, is just because nothing I could start to write justified would even do justice to the amount of thanks and praise I wanted to give you. Again, looking at that hash and being able to like hold it up to the light and look through it, just fucking gorgeous, man. I loved it.
Hash, wait, whoa.
Yeah, what's
my
going
address
on here?
is
Put the video camera back on. What's going on?
And the terpenes.
Love y'all. Thank y'all.
Oh, the terps in those flowers, man. Those were some tasty, tasty flowers. You guys are doing it right up there in Michigan. Anyway, we'll see you guys right back here on Friday for more Ironworks. And again, Friday night for a little bit of Have No Sphere. In the meantime, be good. Be well.
What?
We love you. Bye-bye.